I want to look cool.
What's going on, everyone? We are going live one more time tonight. I got this little guy with me right now. But we're going to get Adventure Club in on this one. And we're going to talk about their recent ride at LA2V Vegas. Give me 1 second here. Get these guys in. We're only going to be doing Instagram on this one. They only have Instagram, so that's the only thing that we're going to do it on. And unfortunately for the guys, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
Volume here.
Hey, it's 2 and 2.
You guys told me you were going to have two of you, so my little man wanted to jump in on this.
All good, man. All good. That's great. That's perfect right there, Juddy, I think.
I'm little Nick.
How's that? Yeah, that works.
Perfect.
Good. Yeah. How's it going, little Nick?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Version of him, so it goes well.
So I want to tackle a couple things here and let everyone know before we get started on knowing about you guys at Adventure. But we have, so WLF, just to kind of give everyone a heads up, WLF had stated that they were going to give away a free t-shirt to a lucky winner of my first live stream earlier this evening, and then our second one right now that we're about to have. But then you also wanted to come in, and you've got some of your own stickers, correct?
Yep, stickers. Right. Anybody that hits us up with a direct message during the live broadcast, we'll send you out a little pack of stickers for free.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. So tell us about your guys' Adventure Club, your guys' page, your brand, and just give us a heads up, like what you guys, where you guys started and what you guys are all about.
Yeah, we're just about, honestly, connecting guys together to get out and get alive. You know, that's part of our hashtag, get connected, get alive, get outside, get alive. A lot of the guys that we run into used to ride or want to ride, and their buddy moved away, or they don't have anybody to ride with. And I started riding when I was 4 with my brother and my dad, and up until my dad passed away last year, that's pretty much the only people I ever rode with. Fernando, we've been buddies for 4 years now. He's the only other person outside of my dad and my brother that I had taken riding with me until just a couple months after my dad passed. Yeah. And in March of last year, we put together a ride to go down into Baja, just get some guys together. And it went from that to us all going out and buying new motorcycles, even though we all had plenty to begin with, and new people coming in. And then we said, you know what? Let's just start an Instagram account and start sharing some of these photos. So that's what we did in September. And at the core of the club, it's just about growing a community to give ourselves and other guys more opportunity to come together and ride. So we don't do tours. We don't do big organized rides. We don't do rallies. We just come together and say, hey, let's just be bros and go ride.
Awesome. And just to let you know, if I look down, I've got another mobile device that I'm watching some of our comments and stuff on, so I'm not over here trying to swipe on the phone that I'm using right here. And I'm also got a timer going too as well, so just so we know where we're at with time frame and stuff. So if I'm looking down, it's not because I'm not paying attention, I'm listening. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. So you guys, let's touch back on something here. So you grew up riding with your dad and your brother, and he's passed since, and I apologize for hearing about that. It's great to grow up in a family that rides, especially when you're young. Obviously, I started riding when I was young with my dad, and then obviously with this little guy here, I keep on trying to not let him ride, and he keeps on wanting to ride. But yeah, but no, man, that's good stuff, and that's great that you found someone else that's got the common goal of going out and riding, and you guys have developed that relationship to go out and ride. You know
what? It's not hard to find good guys that want to go ride.
Right. There's a lot of good guys, but it does take a certain individual to click with to always make it that one guy that's like motivates you to go and ride, that, you know, the weekend come in, and, you know, otherwise there's other guys that are like, hey, let's just go riding. And you're like, ah, whatever. But then that one guy always just gets to you and is like, hey man, pushes you, and just all for the positive reasons and keeps you motivated.
In my case, it's, you know, this dude has made me do things that I never thought I was able to do. And he's put me, you know, in a space where I'm focused and I can do things that I'm like, did I just do that? So I thank him for that. So
what's your backstory?
Well, I started riding, you know, when I was, you know, a mature man, and then decided to start riding. And I mean, I always had a bike here and there, but never rode all the time. And I had, you know, street bikes. I had a few dirt bikes. I had quads, but never went on, you know, riding full on all the time until, you know, we got together. And then that's when it really, really picked up, and I got back into it. And we did an adventure ride together that, you know, kind of like started the whole thing. And we went to the Grand Canyon and we did all that stuff. And then we, you know, we went to Baja, and I used one of his bikes by that time because I had sold my bike. And that just sparked the thing again and just lit up, and I had to go and buy a KTM. So I did that. And that got a bunch of people started on buying new bikes, and we all started, you know, riding together, and we're having a blast. That's awesome. All about having a good time, challenging yourself, putting yourself out there, and, you know, riding on that line where you're scaring yourself enough that you feel alive. And at the end of the day, sitting back, talking to, you know, to the guys, having a drink, and saying, you know what, it was awesome. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end of that day, this is important. You know, we're not single day riders. We need to do a little bit more of that. I get it. But we ride someplace, we stop, we camp by a campfire, or we stay in some crazy little place up in the mountains of Baja, or out in the middle of the desert. And we talk about shit, you know, we connect, we talk about the day's ride, we tell the war stories, we talk about bigger pieces of life, and then we get up the next day and we do it again. And when we're lucky, we do it again and again and again. You know, my longest adventure ride was a 2-week ride. And I'm telling you, there's something different about the third, fourth night from there on. You know, it takes 1 or 2, maybe 3 nights to kind of get the real world off of you. And then things really open up, and you start to have a lot of fun. So, again, that Adventure Club, we're not kidding when we say that. It's not enduro.
That's awesome. So, was this your first time riding the LAB2V?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, explain to me how this all came about. Did one guy have the you know, like, hey, let's get this together and let's all do this, or how did it all come about?
Yeah, I had wanted to ride it since moving to California 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I even signed up to ride it and then didn't get to go. I just lost the money 2 years ago. So this summer we were talking about it, and my wife and family and I had plans to be in Colorado for Thanksgiving. And then these guys just got together and said, hey, we're doing LAB2V. And I was like, well, crap, I have to cancel my Colorado plans because I'm not letting you do it without me.
So how many of you guys were getting in on this ride?
There was 4 of us.
Yep.
Four
from this crew here.
Yeah.
And then we ran into some really good guys that we're buddies with up there, another 3 or 4. And we'd hoped to meet a whole bunch of different people while we were up there, but
Things
just
happen.
didn't happen.
Crazy. Yeah. Unless you connect and you like know the face and stuff like that at like after the ride or before the ride. But I mean, even before the ride, it's crazy. I mean, it's just mayhem going on and people are everywhere. So, and where are you guys out of?
Carlsbad.
Okay. So what was your guys' plan of attack? Did you guys go up the night before, or did you guys go up the morning of?
No, the morning of. We were rolling out at 3:22.
Oh.
I think. Yeah, and you know, Fernando's a pretty organized dude, but myself and Doug, who's on Instagram as tracks.v51, I think, we're seat of the pants, whatever we feel like doing kind of guys. So we were completely unorganized. I didn't even read the packet. I mean, we showed up to LAB2V like we do typical adventure rides. You know, this 6 a.m. start, we're like, whatever. We didn't hit the trail till 8:30 or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, we were the last people to get out probably. Yeah.
They almost closed the suite before we left. That's how it's. So we're pretty haphazard when it comes to that.
The upside to that is that we did a lot of passing on the while we were riding, so that's pretty cool. But it also made us eat a lot of dust in the way. But it was interesting how we got very, very behind our schedule that we had.
Oh, it happened so fast. I mean, we did it on the 2016, and 2016 it was like we got there, we were trying to like chat with a few people and say hi and everything, and next thing you know, it was like we gotta go. Like literally, you gotta go. And now it's that's a, how can I say, that's a little bit of a frustrating scenario because you're trying to like you rush, but at the same time, it keeps everything moving. Otherwise, people will lollygag around. And
you don't make it if you don't.
An organized event like that that's covering a lot of ground, it's different than buddies riding. And this is the first time we've ever done anything like that. So next year, because we're all assuming we're going to hit it next year. Next year, we're going to go up the night before. We're going to be there right on the gate, like Chris Roner. We're going to take off right then with the Baja Designs light, going. And we're going to hit that crap hard and have a good time because we like to do that. We just didn't know that's how it worked.
Did you guys meet Chris Roner?
Yeah, we met him in Baja back in March. And so we were able to connect with him again while we were up there. He's one of the handful of people that we actually knew in that community.
Wait, so did you guys go on that Baja trip with Luke and
Chris and all those guys? Yeah,
we crossed paths.
We crossed paths.
Yeah, so you'll have to. So we spent the night with him at Mike's, and we spent the night with him at Coyote Cows. But we were running El Compadre down, and this was back in March. It's the first time I had been back to Baja since 2015, and I was navigating with no GPS and the old AAA map.
Oh, and we were in super heavy bikes.
Yeah, we were on big bikes, our XL LAB2Vs. So we rolled up on these guys, and we're like, hey, we're trying to go here. Can you show us how to get there? And they just busted out laughing and said, well, number one, the turn's right there. And number two, what the hell are you doing with the AAA map, man? So Chris Bob's jumped in and taught us how to use all the latest navigational stuff that night at Mike's at the bar. It was a heck of a lot of fun. So that's how we met Chris and Luke and all those guys.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was supposed to be on that ride. I was like, literally, I was on the whole schedule, and I forgot. Honestly, I can't remember what the last minute deal was, but I didn't make it. That ride I was supposed to be on. So that's so funny. That is
hilarious.
So, so you guys get up in the morning and you get out there early. That's a crazy, early morning drive out there. And so you say you get on the road, on the trail, like around, 8:30, you're saying, right?
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
So take me through how this first adventure through, all the way up to Barstow went for you guys. I mean, I don't know where I've caught some of your guys' posts and some of the things you guys said, and I know you guys had some problems. Take me through it, man. Just share the experience.
Well, it was a blast. Number one, I've ridden up through Mojave a good bit. So the whole first day we were like Last Chance Canyon, for instance. I've ridden all that on the CSC RX3, the big heavy Chinese adventure bike that is an awesome little bike, but it's not cut out for Last Chance Canyon. So I was enjoying kind of the reminiscing part. We were having a really good time. Trying to navigate off the roll chart. We had GPS, but we were trying to use the roll chart. Seeing all the guys, like Fernando said, passing some people safely. Seeing all the different unique bikes and stuff. I mean, it was just like kid in the candy store stuff for us. It was so much fun.
There's everything from what people don't even understand is that there's everything from like vintage to adventure to. I mean, it's great. Sidecars.
Sidecars. There was a guy out there, we think, with kind of a camouflaged 790. We thought that's what it was, and then it showed up on Instagram. Apparently, that's what it was.
790. I think
that was awesome.
Trial around then. Yeah.
So we had a good time. One of the guys, so the other two gentlemen that were with us, Doug, or Tracks on Instagram. He's one of the founders of the club. And then his son Cooper came along. Cooper's pretty fresh in riding. He's really talented, but he's pretty fresh in it. So I think he's 20.
He's 20.
Okay.
He took a spill, I think, and kind of banged his wrist up and his knee a little bit. So, you know, toward the later part of the day, that started kind of weighing on us. But the first half of the day, you know, we hit the hard route through Last Chance Canyon and all that stuff and just had a blast. You know, came to the big steep hill where everybody is and had a blast with that stuff. I took a lot of pictures of the carnage on that hill. Just had a really, really good time. But we realized we were getting kind of late in the day. Mm-hmm. So I made a navigational error, and we didn't want to backtrack and go through that tight double track that had a lot of traffic on it that we had just passed. Yeah. So we went ahead and took the easy route to Carl's Jr. And then from there, took the easy route the rest of the way in because we were starting to get pretty late in the day.
But that was partly my fault too, because he said continue, and I started, you know, I kept going, and then I started following the ribbons, but the ribbons are for the easy route and not the other one. And I don't have a odometer on my bike, so I couldn't use the roll chart. So I was just going blind and following people here and there, and all of a sudden we ended up on the easy route, and we missed a couple of sections of the hard route.
Yeah, so if you've got an intention about where you want to go or how you want to get there, it's really important not to get in the mindset of following anybody else.
No.
We're lost.
So were they pushing the roll charts this year? Like, because I saw a lot of people talking about roll charts that, I mean, I didn't run a roll chart when I did it.
Well, you can't get through tech inspection without a roll chart holder.
Really?
Nobody's, yeah, well, officially, you can't get through without a roll chart holder. But nobody's making sure that you're using the roll chart. Most of the guys I saw were using GPS, but I've never used a roll chart, so I really wanted to use the roll chart because I think that's fun stuff.
I had an issue with the GPS, though, because they loaded up, even though I have the trail tag, and I mentioned that, they loaded up a Garmin file. So when I loaded it up, it showed every single route at the same time. So it didn't make a distinction of where I should go. So even though I wanted to follow GPS, it was, you know, pick one if I was, you know, if I didn't know where I was going. So it was kind of hard. The second day they did load up the trail tech type of file. I mean, even though it's the same, apparently there is two kinds that they give you. And he asked me, do you have a trail tech? Why did they give you a Garmin file yesterday? And I'm like, well, isn't it GPX? And he said, yeah, but it has to be a little bit different. For
so I mean, that's a good rule. Don't follow anyone, and always double check your key information. Yeah. And you know, ADD Light, Garrett's posting up here. The roll charts are really good to give you the information, like the tortoise crossings where you've got to maintain a certain speed,
washouts,
where the washouts are. So the roll charts, they are really handy to have. I know a lot of people didn't use them, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to, and it was fun to use. They're fun to use. Yeah,
because you definitely don't get, I mean, unless you had the GPS tracks prior and marked everything out, because that's like stuff that we'll do sometimes and mark some stuff out. But yeah, you don't get all those little notes and stuff like that, trail notes. You don't get them. I mean, you just get a track and you have to, navigate it. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. I've never used one. It seems pretty fun. I guess something different.
It's fun. You know, it's the way it used to be done, and I like that kind of stuff. I'm a guy that still carries a real